Hi everyone, and welcome to Unit 4. In Unit 4, you're going to be having Discussion 4, Accomplish 4, Reflection 4, and your midterm exam. For this week, I've divided things up. I have your readings right here, so if you click on it, you're able to see Chapter 8 and Chapter 9 PowerPoints for you to review. For this week, we're looking at the role of production cost in technology. And when we look at production costs, we're looking at two major costs, fixed cost and variable cost. A fixed cost is a cost where when more is being produced, the cost stays the same. Whereas a variable cost is looking at the more that's being produced, the higher the cost. Each firm has to evaluate their fixed and variable cost in the production that they're looking at. And we're also going to be looking at our first market structure called perfect competition. And perfect competition is going to be focused on the role of many buyers and sellers selling very similar products. And given that they sell very similar products, they're going to be watching what they're being sold in terms of they have to take the market price. So for this week, I have some videos for you to review right here in the watch section. You have the reflection, which is one attempt in 10 questions. I also have the accomplish, which is 2 attempts, 25 multiple choice questions. And then we also have the midterm exam. The midterm exam is going to be covering anything from units 1 through 4. So let's go through some of the questions that you might see on the midterm exam. On the exam, the market demand curve. You'll notice the market demand curve is a negative relationship between price and quantity supplied. Diseconomies of scale. That's looking at when more is being produced, the cost increases. Perfectly competitive markets. They're called price takers. The buyers are price takers because they have to take the market price. Elasticity of demand is looking at how consumers respond to price changes. Total cost. Total cost is fixed cost plus variable cost. You'll notice as output increases, total cost will also increase. Question 6. In a competitive market, it operates perfectly. It relies on the prices that they're charging. That's the key, the prices that they're charging in the market. Question 7. Suppose the current price in the market is $9. Quantity demand is $5.19. Quantity supply is $400. So you know supply is greater than demand. So there's going to be a surplus of pizzas and prices will have to decrease. Fixed costs is costs that do not change with output. Question 9. If you look at price elasticity of 1.2, you're noticing that's going to be an elastic good. So revenue will go in the opposite direction of the elastic good. Perfectly competitive market. Agriculture is the best example. Market supply curve. It's an upward or positively sloped curve between price and quantity supplied. So now, look at this right here. If it's unitary elastic, you'll notice that revenue will stay the same. Average total cost is just the formula of total cost divided by output. On question 15, you're going to have to fill in the blanks right here to figure out what is your variable cost of one pair of earrings. So variable cost. So the marginal cost, we know the total cost is 100. So that means fixed cost would be 100. And that means total variable cost would be 0. So 100 would be for all right here, all fixed cost. So 0 plus 50 gives me my 50 right here. And this would be 150 because this is always 100. So you want to know what this number is, total variable cost. Minimum wage laws, that's a good example of a price ceiling, lowest price that can be charged. Economics is looking how we study our limited resources. Question 18 is looking at a price ceiling, and it's looking at markets and what occurs at that market price ceiling. Question 19 is looking at total cost, total variable cost, and you're trying to find fixed cost, which is the difference between these two curves. Another example of economics and what's it defined. 21 is just a definition of quantity demanded. 22 is looking at resources and resource allocation. 23 is looking at output and what average fixed costs do. 24 is looking at marginal cost. Marginal cost is just the change in producing an additional unit in total cost. And rent control, that's going to be a good example of a price ceiling. So those are what you're going to be looking at with your midterm exam. Please note that you have only one attempt, and when you start the exam, you have to complete it at that point. And that's the key that a lot of people don't realize. You have to complete it at that point. So when you open it, make sure to complete it because there's no more attempts allowed on the midterm exam. But if you have any questions, please let me know, but I look forward to your effort this week.